Sometimes
Sometimes.
we think that some our regions is safer than another, but even in Christmas night we have a air raid in Kiev, and they hit some of our pension fund offices and one of the biggest office center in the Kiev, and one of the oldest church.
I mean, I can imagine it on my own. My relatives had to escape Romania because of Second World War, and some were murdered, some were shot, some were put into prison because of political. And my mother has never wanted to talk about this, and my grandmother neither. And it's only my grand uncle who told me about this being in prison in Russian prison for nothing than just helping people stand up for that. Mm, he described me, showing me pictures. This is unbelievable if you have never been in this situation. Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of We Empower. This time from me, from my side, from India. I'm thrilled to have you all with us today. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be inspired. Let's make today count. In today's episode, we will have a great guest here to introduce. It will be Kostiantyn Koshelenko, Deputy Minister of Social Policy of Ukraine for Digital Development, Digital Transformation, and Digitization. Followed then later on by a great book, which will be maybe inspiring for many of you. So let's first kick things off with a song selected by Kostiantyn. Kostiantyn Koshelenko, welcome here in the show.
Good day. I'm truly glad to have the opportunity to talk about Ukraine's experience during the most challenging times. And our country is showing how resilience, leadership, and innovation can transform reality, even in war. I hope our conversation inspires you.
I'm sure about that. To introduce you, we heard Alphaville Forever Young. Released in 1984, Forever Young was created during a time when the Cold War heavily influenced popular culture. There comes a bit sadness through the song. If I look at your biography, it is impassioned. It is full of enthusiasm. It's full of also braveness, but also engagement. Prior to joining the Ministry of Social Policy, you worked as a deputy head of the State Property Fund of Ukraine, held top management position in banks and financial companies. You have been involved in the development of regional networks and the digital transformation of banking institutions, as well as the implementation of national projects such as Transport Privatization Bank, ID, Apple Pay, and furthermore. So you have strong experience in implementing project management, including also agile methodology. On December 29, and I think this is a remarkable date for you, 2021, you were appointed a Deputy Minister of Social Policy of Ukraine for digital development, digital transformation, and digitization. Among your projects, this is, of course, something which is super important. You are also engaged in humanitarian platforms and, of course, provision of social online services via different portals, including adoption consultations and candidate registration for adoption. You hold a degree in finance, computer system and networks and management, have an MBA degree and a diploma for the Ukrainian corporate governance. So full of expertise, can't imagine another person would fit better in this position. But of course, you are even more. You are also an author of a book, Management in Times of War, that explores leadership in extreme situations. What do you consider the most critical qualities for a leader during war or crisis?
Yes, Annabelle, it's all about me. Thank you for this introduction, and I think that we can talk about leadership. We can talk about social services, digital transformation, and Ukraine, and all about what we do today in Ukraine to stay to make our state stronger in times of war.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. So your book is something which has a lot to do, I think, also with you personally. So how do you personally stay focused and make decisions that balance immediate needs with long-term goals during such challenging times? Because you have to be agile and on the other hand, look for long times, right?
If we talk about resilience, we need to talk about personal resilience and resilience of our team. And yes, when you're a leader, you always uh, can be can be a role model for your people, for your team. And first of all, you need to try to work with yourself. And I have a very small and very simple recommendations for all people. It's about morning jogging. And when you work around the clock, you don't have a time for your normal life routine. You don't have a work-life balance, etc. But you always have possibility to use half hour of hour in the morning to jogging, to think about this day, to be in your own cave, and to support your physical health and mental health. And when we talk about personal resilience, I think it's my key.
Yeah. How has the world shaped the digital transformation of Ukraine? I mean, it's a serious special field, particular in the realm of social policy. Are there any projects you're especially proud of?
You know that we have a strong strategy to digital transformation of Ukrainian social sphere. And start realizing this strategy from 2021. But war is always about new challenges, always about new risk, always about new tasks. And we try to change our priorities and start work from the first months of the war. We start work with to make a services for our internal displaced people, because it's a million of peoples, and we build for them service to online registration for social payments, social benefits, and connect our unified informational system of social sphere, brand new system, with our state super app, maybe you know, DIA application, to give opportunity to people apply to social support just from mobile, just from
Yeah.
bomb shelters, from different regions of Ukraine. And I think that you always need to think locally and act locally. It's about your reaction to the circumstance. But we always try to move forward strategically, because we have strategy. We understand that globally we need to implement in Ukraine electronic case management for social services, to work with citizen in a client-oriented regime, client-oriented approach, and step by step we continue to build this system. And it's important that our humanitarian partners understand it, that first of all, better humanitarian work on the in country in war, it's a support of national social support system. And together with World Food Program, United Nations World Food Program, and UNICEF, we try to make our next step. For example, we built a application for social benefits for families on the portal. We built even application for consultation for kids adoption, and after that registration of the candidates online. And we continue to develop with UNICEF our electronic case management, because we understand that in times of war, social support must be more targeted to people, more fast, more accessible, and it's very important. Then this system must operate with lack of people inside this system, with lack of social worker, with lack of people who work in social support offices, then as a digital guy, I try to implement the solutions to for automatization and automation of the processes to move our people, our social workers from the paperwork, from the decision about application to social work, to work people with people.
Great. In what ways has the conflict accelerated digital development in Ukraine, and where do you see untapped potential?
It's not a war driven Ukrainian digital transformation. First of all, it's about people who work on digital transformation in times of war, who understand on the ground all risk around us, who understand all lack of resources and our situation. And these efforts, first of all, it's about efforts of government. Here in Ukraine, we have a Ministry of Digital Transformation. This ministry with Vice Prime Minister Fedorov coordinate digital deputies like me from different ministries to make our digitalization in very coordinated, very with synergy and in one system approach. And it's about joint work of people who work in humanitarian organization who support us right now to build our system stronger. It's not only about functionality this system, but about cyber security too, and not only cyber security, because rockets hits even in our physical infrastructure, and we always try to be to make additional backups to make our system stronger. And that's why that we understand that clients of our system, it's not just a citizen, it's not just people, it's all people around us, our neighbors, our loved ones, our people with whom we go into the university, with whom we work, and
Yeah.
then motivates our team and all our partners who work together in the social sphere digital transformation to make these efforts, because it's not about it's not about very popular digitalization, it's not about digitalization in the sake of digitalization, it's about support of
Yeah.
human resources, human capital. And that's why it's a big motivation for all of us who included in these processes.
I like the way you see it. And of course, in these times, you see that digitization has a great impact or could have a great impact of the people's life, especially getting all they want, getting in special situations support, also humanitarian support, even knowing that they're still alive, or giving them mental health support. You mentioned also adoption, which might be also a topic which is terrible, but you have to talk about and find quick solutions. So of course, digital solution means also always a chance, but on the other hand, of course, also danger, because the solution which could be helping people on the one hand could helping, of course, also the enemy who tries to attack you. So as you said, you have to be better always. Which digital solutions have proven to be most effective in supporting citizens, especially vulnerable groups you mentioned already during this period, just as, for example, old people, which are not that digitalized, maybe also lone standing women with babies, schools, hospitals.
Thank you for this good question. And when we build our system, we always remember then we work in multi-channel in multi-channel manner, and we always not just build a digital way, we always build additional ways. And today it's about possibilities to apply via smartphone, apply via social offices around the country. And now we build additional centers as a part of the How Are You program, which is component of national mental health program initiated by Ukraine's First Lady Olena Zelenska. We built a network of resilience center. This is a place in every municipality, in every community, gramada, as we say. We build a place of power where people can give first psychological support, where people works in groups with different topics. And this is important to work with mental health of people in times of war, because now it's the third year of the war, and we try to do our best. We try to work around the clock, and this is not about physical. It's not about your physical condition. It's about mental health too, and we try to support people and support teams who work for these people.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like that you will be super well prepared and super well equipped then after the war. Well, with these tools you are currently building, because it has to be built. And what you are mentioning with mental health, I think this is more important than ever, because you can give on a digital way people a lot of hope, which are somewhere waiting, frightened, in danger. And you can give them not only hope, but also give them signs of life, and give them also a path where to go, that they know I'm not alone, and I can be survived, or there is somebody who takes care of me. This is great that you are doing that, and that you're seeing how important it is, because it is one source which can put the nation together in times like this. So we will go now into a small break, and please stay tuned. After the break of approximately 3 minutes, we see each other again here to continue. We continue with the talk with Kostiantyn Koshelenko, Deputy Minister of Social Policy of Ukraine for Digital Development, Digital Transformation and Digitization, who was appointed on December 29 in 2021 Deputy Minister. Kostiantyn, I hope that you can hear us. As the Deputy Minister of Social Policy, how do you see technology playing a role in reducing social inequalities?
First of all, I need to say that we are not well prepared, and preparation for the war is not a good situation. We just, before the war, we just to work to be more efficient, to build our processes more efficient in social sphere, to coordinate this sphere, to support our people more targeted, and to give more social services, more social benefits, and to build a transparent digital system. But now we try to transform it. We try to make not just a social support, but in humanitarian response. In one hand, social support, and another hand, it's about humanitarian response. And we always try to to involve additional partners to build something more efficient, because war not is not the over, and we try
Mhm.
to build our system more robust, more efficient. And when we talk about acceleration and support of the people, I think it's important to say that our people have DIA super application. This is our government application with all important services and additional DIA portal. And part of these services from our ministry, from Ministry of Social Policy, it's our part of the joint work with Ministry of Digital Transformation, and we try to make our social application to social social support, social benefits and services more accessible for the people. And for us, this system, it's not just about client-oriented services, it's about management, because we try to understand data, and data for us, it's a source of understanding what about understanding of current situation, and to make more efficient forecast, to make more efficient response. That's why we work on digital we work in our unified social system to implement analytic subsystem to understand all situations in real life. And I think that for us it's important then we build in this year our humanitarian aid registration system. This system works more than 1 year, and now all humanitarian aid moved to Ukrainian border, accounted online in very simple mode via smartphone or laptop, and more than 10,000 organizations use this system to register their humanitarian aid, and this is about more than 100,000 lorries with humanitarian aid which moved to Ukraine, and now we understand every piece of this support, and this is about transparency for people, for our communities to understand what support need different gramadas, different municipalities to move humanitarian aid more targeted.
That sounds good and like a really great challenge to doing this, because Ukraine looks very different nowadays. We have parts in Ukraine which are totally destroyed. We have others where it seems like there's a kind of normal life, if we can say that, is happening, even knowing that there's war in the country. But of course, you talked also about the people already. There are some people which have maybe no smartphone, which are not really able to to handle these instruments, these technical instruments. Maybe older people. Is there a chance to reaching them? So what is the strategy in place to ensure that digital transformation benefits all? You just said humanitarian help, but including also those with limited access to technology, because you already mentioned, and we discussed this, mental health can profitize a lot from contact via technology in these times, especially.
Thank you. And as I say, we design our digital solution with inclusivity as a really core principle. And first, our services available both online and offline. For instance, citizens can access services via smartphones or laptops, but they can visit offices where specialists assist with application in person, or then can ask about social worker who support them even at home. And second, we integrate digital tools with exciting paper-based processes, and then we can ensure access to those without devices or internet. But I think that that education is key, because we have a lot of people around us who use smartphones, and yes, this is not very it's not very expensive smartphone. Sometimes it's about basic models, but we run awareness campaigns and training programs for social workers and citizens to improve digital literacy. And the
That's
goal,
great.
yes. And I think that when first time you have consultation to make something with support, after that you can use this smartphone, because today smartphone in Ukraine, maybe it's the most important gadget than TV or than PC, and people first of all buy these simple models to be connected, to use YouTube, to use Facebook, Zoom, etc. And for us, it's a possibility to give them additional application for social services. And we have only one task to build these interfaces very accessible and inclusive and understandable to use a lot of people.
Right. That sounds really perfect what you are doing, supporting for the people. So, of course, we talked also about it. If we name it, it's psychological support, often which is needed, not just from the men, from people which are at the frontier, but of course from everybody who saw some massacres, who saw some really somebody die next to him, for example. This need strong psychological support. You said you have social workers. Do you have also special digital tools for this, Q&As, or maybe one-to-one meetings, or apps or something for this, so to support citizens during the war?
It's a platform, How Are You platform. It's an initiative of our First Lady Elena Zelenska, and I think this is about resource for all people who try to find some solution how to manage themselves in this circumstance. And yes, we have both ways even here. If you want online, you just Google how are you or як ти там, як ти in Ukrainian. And another way, you can go into the resilience center in your community. Now we have 200 of these resilience centers. It's not a
Wow,
lot
great.
because we have more. We have 1,500 communities around the countries. Then we try to grow in this network, and this network is built in a very interesting principle because first of all, it's about willing of community. They give a place, house for this resilience center. After that, some organization, it's maybe UNICEF or another humanitarian fund, or some responsibility private companies who operate in this territory, make a repair of this place, build this place, and after that, a state pay for the social service, for the people who work with people, for the social workers. And then this is very, I think it's very interesting model because this model involve both private sector and the government and the local communities to build this place of power for families, for people who live in different communities.
Great that you offer something like this, because this binds people together, or society together, especially in these times, right? So if we come to international collaboration and the vision, what international partnerships have been crucial for Ukraine's digital development, and how can other nations learn from your experiences?
We very grateful for all our partners because because in these times we need a different resources. Sometimes it's about the laptops. Sometimes it's about software for better humanitarian response. Sometimes it's about experience. We need experienced people who can share this experience. And I think that today our important collaboration it's about it's our project with UK, with USAID, with Switzerland, Sweden, and European Union. And I think it's very important to build our system, continue to build our system with World Food Program, because they understand that food it's important, but in modern country, food is not just humanitarian aid with pasta from Italy, for example, from Italy. we have a lot of food here in Ukraine, and important to support Ukrainian supply chains, Ukrainian producers, to give cash support because our banking system works. We need humanitarian aid in natural form only near front line, but in Kiev, Zaporizhia, Dnipro, it's important to give for people cash support, and that's why we integrate our efforts with United Nations World Food Program to give for people support in a more efficient way. And important partnership, it's a East Europe Foundation and UNICEF. I think, and it's important to say that we start collaboration with European Social Network. It's a great organization uh, which operate in different European countries. It's about collaboration of social workers, policy makers, and software developers in social sphere. And in this year, we have invite to this network, and we work with colleagues together. First of all, to share our experience to another countries and use best practices from another countries here in Ukraine because we don't have a time to make something brand new. It's important to useful best practice. And I invite everyone to the third Global Digital Social Forum in Kiev. We continue shaping experience and building future together. And you can find in YouTube our Global Digital Social Forum in Kiev in this year and in 2023. This is really a place to sharing our experience and to connect
Wow.
different dots from different people who have experience in social support and digital transformation.
Right. I think we can deliver later the links that people who can find it more easily can check it out later on. Thank you so much. So if we come to personal, more going more personal, what personal lessons have you learned from leading in a time of war, and what advice would you give to leaders facing similar challenges?
Oh, it's a lot. In management in times of war, in my book, I highlight maybe 3 or 4 key principles, key qualities of leader in this circumstance. It's about courage, it's about strategic thinking, and it's about empathy. And
Mhm.
courage is necessary to make quick decision when is incomplete information, but action is still requirement. And strategic thinking helps maintain focus on long-term goals, even when circumstances change daily and you have a lot of force majeure around you. And empathy enable leaders to understand people needs and unite people around the shared purpose, which is essential for maintaining unity during a crisis. And I talk about not only unity inside your company, your team, but about unity of all stakeholders, all partners, all people with whom you collaborate. And I think it's about resilience because work must continue even after attacks on Christmas nights and strikes on churches and business centers, like those that occurred a few days ago
Yes.
In the Kiev downtown. And it's important to work even in this circumstance. And I think that the qualities, it's important, our efforts, it's important, but for leader, it's important to have a significant purpose or goal behind their actions. It's essential to identify and clear communicate this goal, this purpose with your team, with people uh, from whom you waiting for support. Because only with joint big purpose you have attract people, involved people to work really around the clock, work with big motivation, work with abnormal motivation. And I think that in maybe additional and additional maybe it's about that in this time all of us is volunteers. Yes, your workplace, in your office, you work as accountant, for example, or project manager or IT developer, but you remember that from front line is very close, and all of us try to buy drones for our warriors, try to buy something, a digital gadget for them, try to make something safety place in our cities, bomb shelters and another places. And this is additional part of our reality. And even when I was in business trip in Brussels 2 years ago, I come back via Berlin on my own car because I remember that I must to buy drones, and I must to catch drone from friends who give them for me. After that, going to the Karlsruhe, because in Karlsruhe I know another friends who buy drones to Ukraine. It's a simple story, but
Yeah.
we just need a more time and more resources to be more efficient in all this sphere in one time.
I mean, it leaves me a little bit speechless and very thankful for the Ukraine society, but for all of us to have a visionary leader like you. And I wished we could talk further, and I think we need a further series. Kostiantyn Koshelenko, thank you so much for the time you spent on this. I hope that you and our vision for peace, for a stop of the war in Ukraine, for peace for all people, and for finding back the peace they deserve, is coming soon. And I hope that all your visionary work, that all your engagement can be also fruitful for this decade very, very soon. Thank you so much, Kostiantyn Koshelenko, Deputy Minister of Social Policy of Ukraine, for digital development, digital transformation, and digitalization. And I hope to hear you very soon. Thank you so much. And I wish you all the best for your engaged work.
Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your support. Ukraine is fighting not only for our freedom, but also a future where the values of humanity and unity prevail. We are strong when we stand together. Thank you for
Yes.
listening, and thank you for supporting us.
Yes, it needs all of us together, and you stand there, and we can just support you in every case we can to support the engagement, to support the braveness of you and everybody in this country who stands up every day again for peace. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we definitely need a second series. There would be so much to say. Also, just the book of Kostiantyn Koshelenko would be great to talk about. So as soon as I read it, I will give him a call and ask him if he will be here for some further minutes in the show. So first of all, we go now in a small break, and after the break, we see each other again. Stay tuned. Thank you again.